Get your coughs out. Oh, that was all real. I don't know where it came from. Welcome to Midnight Masterminds.
Hey everybody, welcome to Midnight Masterminds. This is a place where you come to hear about movie news and movie reviews.
And listen to everybody cough. And listen to everybody cough.
Yeah, Coughing, the podcast. We are joined today by myself, Wyatt Moore.
Katimae.
We are joined by the two lovely guinea pigs, Bert. His full name is Bert Macklin, FBI. First name Bert, middle name Macklin, last name FBI. And we're joined by Frank the Tank and Tyler Two Cheese. sorry, Johnny Foreskin.
You have so many good nicknames.
So, really quick, I just thought that was funny. Somebody was asking me about our podcast, and they were like, what is it called? And I was like, Midnight Masterminds. And they go, Midnight Marinara? And I'm like, yep, Midnight Marinara. All things pasta.
All things pasta.
I know our first April Fool's episode.
That's why your name is Tyler Two Cheese. It all comes to full circle, everybody. So,
Good bit.
We are going to open with another in defense of shitty movies. Because we want to spread positivity into the world, and yet another week has gone by where we've all been very busy in our lives and we weren't able to watch classic movies, which we are getting back to. We swear to Jason Bourne we are.
What? Okay.
Well, in the movie The Bourne Ultimatum, they go, Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne. So now I will just sub in Jason Bourne for Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because if you grammatically look at that sentence on paper, you would be forgiven for misinterpreting it as Jesus Christ is Jason Bourne.
Or just equivalating the two.
Yep.
Jesus Christ, look, it's Jason Bourne. So are you speaking directly to Jesus Christ
Yep.
and saying you should look at Jason Bourne, he's very impressive? But regardless.
I just put a stop sign to a Katimae next. I saw her doing it.
Let the bits run!
That's the rule. If I catch you before you say next, you have to not say next.
Yes.
Oh, hang on, buddy. Watch out.
All right. We are going to be defending movies that we have already seen that are bad and maybe giving you a reason to go check it out. Because here's the thing. You learn 10 million things from watching a classic movie and really engaging in it. But you learn 20 million more things from watching a cruddy movie and understanding it. So, we're going to start there. We're going to have some pieces of news for you. We got James Gunn news. We got Louis C.K. news. We have Star Trek news. And then we all watched a bunch of movies that we're going to review, including and exclusively Crazy Rich Asians, The Meg, and BlacKkKlansman. Starting with Tyler.
Whoa.
He's going to tell you. He's like, what? I'm not prepared. Tyler's going to tell us why Batman and Robin is a movie you should see and not one you should not see.
So,
also, if you don't know about this movie, it is the one with the bat nips.
So,
and the bat butt. See it.
Growing up, there was a thing I used to do all the time whenever I go to bed, and Wyatt, you probably did the same damn thing.
What do you mean?
When it was time to go to sleep,
I said that like I was going to tell you immediately. I never did that.
Well, no.
Name one time I've done that.
Name one time
I did that. Never happened.
Anyway, I would put on a movie that I liked and I'd seen a million times to help lull me to sleep. Bye, guinea pigs.
Oh, the guinea pigs are out the door.
But I'd put on a movie that I enjoyed and then would help lull me to sleep. One of the movies that I enjoyed that would help lull me to sleep was Batman and Robin. And I don't know why, but it touched me on an emotional level.
Show me where it touched you.
Right here.
But
so I will, just like the last time.
Is that a reason to watch the movie, though?
Hang on.
Tyler fell asleep to it?
Hang on.
Times?
You didn't let me finish. Just like last time, I'm going to start by saying, yeah, absolutely, it's a bad movie.
Hey, we're spreading positivity.
But that's okay. As we'll get into when we talk about the Meg.
Whoa.
If it's a bad movie, but you had a lot of fun, is it really a bad movie?
No.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I personally did not take Batman and Robin seriously from the first time I saw it when I was, I think 11 or 10, maybe?
Yes.
First time I saw it?
It's
not when it came out.
Well, I only said yes because you phrased that sort of like a question.
Yeah, lots of pee. The guinea pig peed on me.
And how could I possibly know the answer to? So I just said yes.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. That was a weird way to say that. But anyway,
I was like 10 or 11. Actually, man, you were 6. Oh,
right. I'm
right.
sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
But anyway, it's like if you don't take a movie like that seriously and you just allow it to be a fun character study and to like, all right, you asked me to do this. Don't be a dick.
No, I was legit yawning.
Okay.
Not that I'm bored. Do you think Batman and Robin is a character study?
No, it's like, so part of why campy 1960s Batman works is because it doesn't take itself seriously. It takes all the things that make Batman fun, but like turns them on their head and looks at him in a really campy, cheesy way. I am in no way saying Batman and Robin is better than 1960s Batman, but it's a similar kind of deal. Like if you can look past that, it's not supposed to be a gritty, realistic take on Batman. It's just a fun, like bonkers kind of romp through what makes Batman kind of fun as a character,
sure,
which we don't get a lot. Then you can really enjoy it. Like look past how you want Batman to break someone's back and throw them off a building. He didn't kill him, but he, they're never gonna walk again. He's a brooding, evil, or a badass.
I was born in the dark.
Yeah, badass, just force of nature that stops crime and strikes fear into criminals. Now, if you look past that, you get into bat cards and gadgets and a 42-year-old man who lives with Batman as his child.
Yeah.
Then you can have fun with this.
Speaking of Bane's little origin story, being born in the darkness, I was participating in this showcase because I taught a bunch of kids how to make movies.
Yeah, you're awesome. We get it.
No, what I'm saying is you have to make a bio for the pamphlets that they handed out at the beginning. So all the instructors had their bios, and I wrote out the Bane bio. And I sent that, and then I sent another email that said real bio. And the coordinator came up to me and was like, I very, very desperately want to send or use the first one that you gave me, but I got too many downvotes. It almost made it in.
That would have been so good.
I almost did it.
That would have been so great. Pause on proceedings. Careful how loud you get when you get that close, because I have it set for you and me sitting far away, because Katimae.
You got it. Hey, man, if you can just lean into that pee, that'll make your voice a lot easier to hear.
I don't really want to lean.
That's why I'm trying to have it as close to you as possible.
You're a lean, mean, peeing machine.
Right, but anyway, that's why I like Batman and Robin.
Katie May saw a movie once. It's called, I forget which movie I gave you.
Cat in the Hat.
Cat in the Hat, starring one Michael Myers, the murderer.
It's been so long since I've seen that movie.
Tell us why you should see it. Give us a good part about the movie.
I kind of remember the kitchen scene, and then it all goes to shit. And
I'm sold.
Yeah.
I love kitchen scenes where things go to shit.
It was great. He's like doing a cooking show or something, and then everything like just blows up, and they're like, ah! And if you just want a good time in some like crazy colors.
What I think people didn't like about that movie is they made like the Cat in the Hat was like a caricature.
He's kind of a dick.
Yeah,
he's a weirdo.
Just like a wackadoo in that movie, when in the book he's not really like that at all.
Yeah.
I think Michael Myers was just like, I could be cool here. Like that Jim Carrey guy was when he did his Dr. Seuss.
That's what. This is the last time Dr. Seuss's estate was like, yeah, you can make a live action movie of one of his books.
Yeah.
This is the last time.
They were like, no more.
Like, maybe not, because there were too many weird, dirty jokes in that.
In the same way that we talk about separating source material from an actual movie, people I think were irritated with Cat in the Hat because it was just Mike Myers being like, I could be Jim Carrey crazy too. Look at me. And
look at me.
If you can separate. Sorry, Tyler's trying to do a bit. We're all just going to stare at him awkwardly until he figures it out.
All right, Nevins. Time to die.
It's my favorite bit from the movie.
Okay.
It's just a fun movie.
Yeah. But if you can separate the source material from the movie and not sit there going like, this isn't what the Cat in the Hat's supposed to be.
This isn't like those books.
Yeah.
Those children books. I never read myself, but my mom read me a bunch.
Yeah. If you can separate the two, then the movie independently is just a fun, goofy movie.
So it's not what we're talking about, but the Grinch one is my favorite Christmas movie. Just
Ever?
Period at the end of that sentence.
It's fun.
It's my favorite Christmas movie.
I mean,
guess what?
Big difference though. Ron Howard made the Grinch.
You can see the set of the Grinch.
In Universal Studios on the studio tour. I tell you what.
I tell you
And
what.
their neighbors
I tell you what.
are the Bates.
From the Psycho movie.
So anyway, Wyatt had.
So I'm gonna talk a little bit
Transformers.
about a movie called Transformers: Revenge of
And
the Fallen.
also at Universal, there's
You
a
can meet Optimus Prime on Universal Studios Backlot. You'd think they'd be a fucking sponsor by now, but you'd be wrong. You're wrong in thinking that. Alright, so Tyler and Katimae can tell anecdotes about their movies, so I'm gonna tell an anecdote about my movie.
No, we're out of time.
We actually gotta go catch a movie right now.
You're gonna go with a little butterfly net, you're gonna catch a movie.
Yes!
Anyway, so I was a big fan of the first Transformers because when it came out, I was in the 7th grade, and that was the coolest shit I'd ever seen in my 7th grade life. It was amazing. So the second one came out, I was like, yes! So ready to see it. And my friend Andre, one of my closest friends and oldest friends in all the land, he drove 4.5 hours to come stay with me where I was living at the time so that we could wake up the next morning and go see Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. And it worked. So he came, we went to go see the movie in IMAX, one of the first times I'd ever seen a movie in IMAX. And when we got there, I was living in San Jose, California. We were sitting there in the theater, and the guy next to me, we heard him like talking about like cutting or editing, and at this point I was very interested in becoming a filmmaker, and I was enrolled in my first filmmaking class. I'm sitting there with Andre, and we're both listening to this. We keep looking at each other like, is this guy a filmmaker? That's pretty cool. So in one of the weirdest, like 7th grade, like me was not super comfortable talking to people that I didn't know, but I still looked at him and I said, so, can I ask you a question? I'm very sorry. I know you're here enjoying yourself, but are you like a filmmaker? I hear you using a lot of those terms. And he was like, absolutely. I was like, well, what do you do? And he's like, this, and he pointed at the screen. And this was before the movie started, by the way. This was like still during the trailers. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, you make movies? Like, and he's like, no, like, I pointed at this screen because, like, I helped make this movie. And I was like, shut up. You don't mean that. And he was like, no, really.
Did you push him?
Shut
up. You don't mean
I
that.
pushed him. I was like, shut up. But I pushed him, and no, I didn't push him. But I said, you worked on this movie. And he was like, yeah, me and all these guys. And he did this motion for the whole theater. And I was like, are you saying, like, other people sprinkled throughout the theater? And he was like, no, this is like 90% people who did the CG after this movie. And I was like, shut up! and Andre, he's sitting next to me and his mouth is just open. He's like, what? And he was like, well, I'll show you if you're that interested. And every time something CGI would happen, he would point at somebody in the theater and go, that guy did that, and that guy did that. And so apparently the firm that they hired to do like half the CGI for this movie was in San Jose.
That's awesome.
And they didn't get invited to the premiere because that'd be impossible for that many people.
Also, fuck the behind the scenes people. That's
Yeah,
what we'll get into.
So, San Jose is far away from LA, so like there's no way. So they just contracted that house to do it. So they all went to go see the movie together when it came out on opening day, which is what Andre and I were there to see. So it was weird that you just run into all these people at a normal ass theater. They all decided to go together. And every time one of their things would happen, like a couple of people would clap because they're like, "Oh, I worked on that." And then at the end of the movie, during the credits, almost every single name in like the CGI section, they would all like stand up and clap because it was somebody that was in the theater. Mm-hmm. It was such a weird experience.
That's really cool, though.
The shittiness of the movie was totally overshadowed by that experience.
Yeah,
it's not good.
Well, that's the thing.
But let me tell you some reasons to see it.
Sorry.
What is that? Am I not supposed to fucking do that?
No, I was saying sorry because I was talking over your bit.
I'm just okay.
Next.
Okay, what? What do you?
Let's hear it.
Do you want to actually hear it, or
What do you guys say?
Fight.
So, amidst the movie's really weird and heinous plot structure and the use of glitter to save the day in the end of the movie, and hearkening just back to the Allspark from the first movie, the action in that movie was nothing that had ever been done at that point on that scale. It was impressive. We don't care what you say about Shia LaBeouf. He's interesting and funny to watch and entertaining. I was never bored during that movie, not a single one time. And this movie is sort of on the line between trying to take itself seriously and trying to just lean into it being a badish movie. Mm-hmm. But I think Michael Bay's too proud to do that, so you'll never get like the Meg sort of satisfaction of watching like a movie that was made to be crummy and fun. Mm-hmm. But even though he wasn't trying to, it kind of is. So like it's a good time just to watch some explosions. And seeing it in IMAX was fucking dope.
So what I was gonna say is that experience is a cool reminder that no matter how bad a movie is, a bunch of real people really worked on it. And for some, it might be like the biggest achievement of their career.
Yeah.
As bad as the story is, it does not mean that the CGI people aren't proud of what they did.
Oh, for sure. They
And
were so happy to be
So
there.
that's one thing that if we're trying to inject a little positivity into the world.
Oh, for sure.
That's what this segment should be about. It's like
My writing professor used to always tell me, it's really hard to make a good movie, but it's even harder to make a bad movie. It's harder because a lot of the people who are there don't know that they're making a bad movie, and usually because it's bad, there were issues, and like you're struggling to get through it. So just because they made a movie that wasn't as good, people still enjoy it, and people really tried hard to make it. So just chill out.
Yeah, man.
Everyone just chill out.
for sure.
Chill out.
All right.
Chill out.
Do we want to do news?
All right, we're gonna do lightning news.
All right.
News.
Tyler, you go second. So.
Ooh, got him.
Star Trek 4 might be in trouble. Dun dun dun! Holy shit! Oh my fucking god! So here's the problem: when they put Chris Hemsworth, who played the son of Captain James, the father of Captain James T. Kirk in the first Star Trek, he was kind of a nobody, and now he's really a somebody, more than anybody in Star Trek put together, because he's Thor.
Yep.
So. And also, Chris Pine, because of Star Trek, became also one of the biggest stars on the planet, also thanks to Wonder Woman being propelled even further into the stratosphere of awesomeness. Those two people are demanding a shit ton more money, and they're saying, Star Trek, the producers behind Star Trek are saying, we don't want to do that, because then we can't make the movie. And they're like, well, figure it out, dum-dums. And they can't. That's the issue right now. They want to, I guess Star Trek Beyond did not make as much money as they had anticipated, so they're trying to cut everybody's salary. And they started with Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth, and they said, hey, we're going to try and lower your guys' salary so that we have more budget for the movie. And they were both like, no, don't do that. So until they can figure out how to pay them the same money and lower the budget for the movie and not make the movie a shitty movie, it probably won't happen. But we'll see if they can figure it out. They had the same issue with Thor, The Dark World, if I recall, and the Avengers, and they figured it out eventually. But Marvel is a smart group of people, so who knows?
And Paramount hasn't necessarily built a reputation over the last few years of being smart with how they handle their projects. So, I don't know. Tentatively, we're going to see how this goes.
Are you calling them stupid?
Yeah, very much so.
Burn.
Well, I have a buddy.
What did they make that was bad or like stupid?
Well, there's just.
I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just don't know.
I have a buddy who was on the inside, and I don't want to.
Oh, you have an insider track?
Yeah,
well,
and he
just let them be anonymous.
He was. Yeah, I will. He was working at a Paramount sub company, and
Damn.
so many people got laid off because they were just making dumb decisions. Like all the shows that they're promoting on some of their their networks are really bad. They're like dishing on or getting rid of the creative ones and cool like new innovative ones and sticking to tired old shit that is kind of okay at making money instead of taking chances, which is what a lot of people think they should.
Yeah.
Because no one is really excited for Paramount movies because they're Paramount movies anymore. So, like, they need to make some shit that shakes things up. But we'll see.
Every once in a while, Paramount makes a
Shake
good...
it up, baby.
Yeah! They make a good-ass movie, but you know what they've really fucked up with recently is they dump a lot of money into these Transformers movies, and they just keep not making as much money.
Yeah.
Especially the last one.
Yeah. That was simultaneously the most expensive and least return on investment, the last Transformers movie.
Almost no one saw that effing movie.
And they spent so much money on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, they spent so much money on it.
Which is why I'm surprised they're doing this reboot with Bumblebee.
I'm not, because it's so much small. It's more contained.
It looks so good.
The thing is,
So
it looks like they
excited.
said, look, people are saying they want a good fucking Transformers movie, let's just reduce the budget, give it to a new filmmaker that's not Michael fucking Bay, the explosion man extraordinaire, and just see if it's good. And it looks good. I'm excited. I'm just
It has
surprised
your
that they
girl
arrived
in
there.
it.
Yeah. Haley Steinfeld.
Celebrity crush.
Yes, everyone can have one. So I have one.
Mm-hmm.
You have two, actually. And we're going to talk about your next one.
Oh, yeah. Hit girl, baby. She's not a girl anymore.
No.
She's actually at my age, so everyone shut the fuck up.
Yeah, same. I like her a lot. My celebrity crush is Haley Atwell, not my age.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Next up, well, I have two. Do you want to talk about Grace Moretz or?
Well, you wrote down Oscar.
Oh yeah. So. All right. So, as you probably heard
Oscar
over the week, the Oscars announced the addition of a new category. They're tightening up the broadcast and they're
They're going to take a lot of the other more technical awards and not air them.
Yep.
Which a lot of people are speculating that the Oscar, like the quality of the Oscars is going to dip because of that.
Yeah,
and it might.
Yeah, because it was the second most...
Or sanctity. I don't want to say quality.
Yeah.
I will say sanctity. Because, we're not respecting all the things that should be respected.
Yeah, because there's a million different videos talking about what exactly they're doing. I don't necessarily want to get into that. I more want to talk about how everybody on the Midnight Masterminds feels about it.
Let's talk about the feels.
Yeah, man.
Starting with Tyler.
I'm very disappointed in them.
You're very disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm also disappointed, but you tell me why.
Well, I feel
like we're disappointed for different reasons.
The big one is the popular movies category.
See, it doesn't disappoint me.
It sounds like MTV Awards.
That's what I'm kind of getting at. Is like the whole point of the Oscars was to shout out movies that all of your friends that love the Transformers movies unapologetically and will go see them and then talk about how amazing of a movie it was because there were so many butts and explosions. Like, there's definitely a place for that in movies. I love that kind of movies. Exactly. But
That's
the Oscars
why you watch those ones.
The Oscars was always a place for your The Shape of Waters, your Billboards, your Moonlight. The movies that are for people who want to go see it because it's an art form, not because it's like an escapism thing.
Sure.
And like movies like Mission Impossible Fallout, like that would always win or get recognized for technical things, and it deserves them. Because, those movies are technically harder to make than a movie that's just brilliantly acted and written. Mm-hmm. But I think the Oscars and Best Pictures and all that, it's going to lose some of its credibility as an art thing. Plus, adding a category that's going to shout out movies that get all of their recognition from the bagillions of dollars they make in the box office is going to take away from... And we still don't have categories for, like, stunt work, mocap, voice acting, and you know what I mean? Like,
they have added some of those categories in recent years. Not those ones exactly.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But like stuntmen and women have been being shat on for 75 years of movie history.
We can talk about the Harry Potter stunt person who, in the Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, was in an explosion gone wrong and has been a paraplegic the rest of his life because of it.
Yep. And like
sad.
People who think about Mission Impossible Fallout and the stunt work that they did for that movie.
Just
if there was ever a movie that deserved an Oscar for stunt work, like, come on. They did a halo jump from, 28,000 feet, 100 plus times just to get one shot for a movie? And that doesn't deserve...
two and stitch them together.
Sure, but that doesn't deserve recognition, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. It's like, I get you're trying to appeal to a wider audience because you were only the second most viewed live event last year. Sorry. But, I don't know, maybe focus on actually making better decisions with the movies you acknowledge and people will want to watch, because at this point Oscar bait is no longer a positive descriptor.
Oscars are a lie and they pay for them, so it doesn't matter in the end.
And it's time for our new segment, Katie Mae Conspiracy Corner. And go.
Studios pay the Oscar people to get Oscars so they can put on their DVDs, so when the DVDs come out, they sell more copies because they're like, oh, this one won an Oscar.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, people are more likely to win an Oscar if they have a really strong for-your consideration campaign. You ever heard of for-your consideration campaigns?
So it's all a lie anyway.
Yeah, for those who don't know...
whoever has the most money.
I really much appreciate Deadpool for bringing to light this, that when Deadpool came out, he had a real strong for-your consideration campaign. Not because he wanted to win, but because he wanted to shit on for your consideration campaigns.
Yeah.
What they do, let's say you had a movie. I think Shape of Water deserved every lick of credit that it got, but I'm just going to use it because you brought it up.
Yep.
Let's say the producers behind Shape of Water really wanted to be considered for an Oscar, but not a lot of people were talking about it. They will dump loads of money into a for your consideration campaign, which targets the people who vote on the Oscars specifically. And those people get screeners in the mail and they vote on whatever they think about it. And they will hard gun at these people with like letters and all kinds of other stuff to make them want
gifts, merch,
to give them a vote for their movie. Because if you successfully buy your Oscar through that route, you're movie will make a lot more money in the long run because people will go buy it on Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
A good example of that is Birdman. For me, personally, I love Birdman. I think it's a great movie. And I would have seen it without it being, all the Oscar buzz because it looked good to me. But I went out and bought it having not seen it because it won an Oscar. And I watched it and I was like, this was great. Probably wouldn't have bought it, though, if I had seen it before. So I now own that movie only ever having seen it once. I love the movie. I respect the shit out of it. I was baited into buying it because it won an Oscar. And I thought, man, I'm going to watch this movie 80 times. It did not.
Yeah.
So anyway, all that stuff.
That's all
Hard left turn on Wyatt's opinion, though.
Uh-huh.
I think the time is finally coming where we can stop making quality and popularity mutually exclusive. I think there's a big stink on movies that are popular because they're popular. They can't be good. Why? Things are popular because they are good. And I think if a movie becomes too popular or makes too much money or rakes in too much cash or cost too much money to make, that it cannot be considered worthy of Best Picture. I don't think that a movie should be, like, for example, something like, you brought Mission Impossible Fallout. It's not going to be considered for Best Picture. No. It will forever be my favorite movie of the year. Why can't we recognize it for that alone?
Sure.
That's what that section is to me. So I think that section is, the people are finally starting to say, look, these movies that cost a lot of money, that doesn't make them not quality.
For sure.
Something that was made necessarily to be commercial can still be fucking fantastic. And I think Black Panther had a lot to do with that. Because that movie, based on stigma alone, never had a chance at winning Best Picture. But that's a really great character movie that had a lot to say about current society and current culture, and it brought African culture to the center stage in a really brilliant way. Still, but because of how much it cost and because of who made it, had no chance of ever being brought up in that sense at the Oscars. But now it can, and it can be celebrated for what it achieved based on popularity, not based on money, based on popularity. Like, for example, Get Out did not win Best Picture, but I bet you dollars to donuts it would have won that category.
Oh, yeah.
Not because it cost a bunch of money, which it didn't, but because that was the most popular movie last year by a landslide. Now, before you, going the other direction, I think that it's total horseshit that you're taking some of these to make room for that category. You're taking all these other technical awards and you're making them not aired. Just make your broadcast longer. I know it costs more money to do it, but that's the reason I think that people are. Well, no, sorry. If the the sanctity of the Oscars is compromised at all, it's not because they're adding that new category. It's because they're taking away from all these people who made those fucking movies great. Fuck you for thinking that.
So my thing is, I agree with you. That's the thing, is I agree with you a whole lot that we should be able to recognize movies that do exceptionally well and are geared to a more broad audience.
Yeah.
But the stigma should go away with the Best Picture category is kind of what I mean.
Sure.
It's like, throw them against, actual considering, throw Mission Impossible Fallout or back in the day, a Dark Knight, or something that's more commercial, wide release, and big budget, deserves as much recognition as being good as it does, as does A Shape of Water, but for different reasons. Because Mission Impossible Fallout, at its heart, is exactly what movie making is supposed to be about. You're technically, masterfully, and in all ways, creating a story that's going to entertain people, and that's what filmmaking was meant to do when it was imagined. It was an art form meant for entertainment and escapism. So that's exactly what Mission Impossible Fallout is for. So it deserves to be recognized as a Best Picture nom, just like any other movie, and making a popular movies category is just going to give them a way to say, yeah, Black Panther was great. Congratulations, BlacKkKlansman. Not that it doesn't deserve it, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that they're trying to they're trying to break the stigma by perpetuating it further. Just consider Black Panther for Best Picture, and that solved the problem altogether. But we're moving on here. We're going to talk about
Next.
Louis C.K. and Chloe Grace Moretz made a movie together, and Chloe Grace Moretz says, please don't release this movie. Because Louis C.K. is a creepazoid.
And you read what it's about?
The movie?
Yeah.
I know the title.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the title, friends?
Yes.
It is called I Love You, Daddy.
And it is about Louis C.K. is Chloe Grace Moretz's dad in the movie, and Chloe Grace Moretz is a young actress in Hollywood getting her start, and she begins a relationship with a 68-year-old producer played by John Malkovich, and it's about Louis C.K. trying to get her to not do that. And
At least he's playing.
He's not
nice
playing
guy.
he's not playing the creep in the movie, but Chloe Grace Moretz thinks that the fact that he wrote it and who he is right now.
Oh, he wrote this movie?
He wrote and directed this movie.
Oh.
Someone is confessing something.
Uh-huh.
Anyway.
And she's like, yeah, maybe don't, because I just made a really great movie. Go see that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't
see this.
Let's not release
so
this.
she's saying this movie should not be released. Probably won't stop it from being released.
Oh, absolutely not.
But they did cancel the premiere because in November it was supposed to premiere. They were supposed to have a big premiere party and all this stuff.
Yep.
They didn't cancel it till the day of.
Yeah.
So
this is last November.
Yeah. All the news came out and everyone was like, "Ooh, don't do this.
Yep.
Don't do this.
Yep.
Don't do this. Don't." So
they were hoping that fire would die down.
No.
And now they're gonna try to re-release it quietly, probably, and make at least some money.
So, but anyway, that's fun.
Yeah.
Moving on. Last bit of news.
Yep. Probably the last time we'll talk about this for a couple weeks.
Not true.
Yeah.
Not true. Actually, no. This in the whole James Gunn. I don't know what we'll call it an epic. In the
saga.
epic of James Gunn, some positive news has come to light.
Well, positive depending on your point of view.
It's positive.
So, it's positive.
Apparently, he's been very, very sought after in terms of a director for hire after this happens. Like,
understatement.
Oh, one of the most profitable directors in history is on the market. I'll take that, please.
Said Paramount, Sony, Universal,
Everybody.
Warner Brothers. Just everybody who's not Disney was like,
as soon as Disney saw how popular he was becoming, they immediately backpedaled and they said, whoa, you still work for Disney, hotshot. Hold on, we're not done negotiating your exit. And now that they're in the middle of negotiating, Disney's starting to say, oh, well, maybe we could work out some things. So I don't think
Well, forget everything.
Are we boring you, Tyler?
no, I don't know what the hell that was. That was more Cat in the Hat videos started playing. I'm sorry.
Anyway, trying to remember my place before Mike Myers interjected.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. No, but so Disney immediately backpedaled and said, we're still working this out. You can't. So it's in his contract. He cannot entertain any other offers while he still works for Disney. And by contract, he's still technically
because they never officially fired him.
They did not. Well, they're still negotiating his exit. And now that all this backlash has happened, and the cast and the stars are saying we don't want to make the movie unless this is what happens. And Dave Bautista has threatened to leave if they don't use his script at all. Disney's starting to think, we either need to figure out how we rehire this guy, or for our reputation's sake, make this a little bit easier to swallow. So right now, what they're figuring out is, A, can we bring him back and not burn in hell not burn in hell, but burn in the public eye? Mm-hmm. Or B, can option B be we give him another Marvel project and just tell him not to do Guardians because we want to seem like we're committed to the decisions that we make.
I would forgive you, Disney, if you brought him back on for Guardians. I would just look the other way.
Yeah, we can forget all this noise if you just bring him back. Like, that's all everybody wants.
Yeah, and bringing him back and putting him in a different Marvel movie, I feel like is worse than just kicking him out. It just feels like...
That's
how I feel.
It just feels disrespectful. Yeah. Like, you can't work on your baby, but
you can come make us a lot. You can come make us a lot of movie on something else.
So here's the big part about it is that I think not only are they worried that they're about to lose out on a very expensive man. It might be in his contract. It's not released yet, but people are not speculating, but insider people are saying his contract is pretty tight, and it might be in there that if he doesn't make this movie and they decide to sever the agreement, he still gets paid his full fee.
Yeah.
What?
So he might get fired and get paid as though he made the whole movie.
Yeah.
So it sounds like either way, James Gunn wins.
Yep.
Oh, James Gunn is not the loser in this
No,
scenario.
not at all.
So
Because he still has all the support from the public.
Yep.
People want to hire him.
Yep.
And he's going to get paid either way.
That reminds me of, you guys
So,
remember the Amazing Spider-Man movies?
Go James Gunn. No wonder he's being so quiet, because he's like,
Hey, whatever,
I'm good.
man. I'm-
So, like...
Well, yeah, he can make anything he wants now.
Yep.
But if you guys remember the Amazing Spider-Man movies, the Mark Webb, that director was kind of panned for those movies,
Yeah.
but he's an excellent director.
Yes, he is.
He made 500 Days of Summer, and then after these Amazing Spider-Man movies went south, he got to make the movie Gifted. Both of those movies are just excellent
Also,
movies.
like one of the best pairings of the name of a director in a franchise.
Well, Mark Webb, am I right? Anyway.
Right? I'm convinced.
Oh.
I'm convinced he only got the job because
Because of
that's
that.
his name. He
But-
deserved it, but I'm convinced that's the only.
He
reason.
definitely deserved it. But the what's
That's
funny
the
is
only reason
he got
we
paid.
like your name. Come direct our movies.
Yeah. He was paid $15 million to make 3 Spider-Man movies, and he only had to make 2. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Imagine getting paid, like, hey man, over the next 6 years, you're going to make us 3 Spider-Man movies. Right now, here's 15 mil. We paid you. Whatever happens, happens. And after the second one, they were like, yeah, you're free to do whatever you want. I'm like, all right. I can keep the
I'm just
money,
gonna.
though.
Yeah, I'm gonna just pocket the.
Yeah. They were like,
The other
yeah,
7
we
million.
paid you, man. Like, oh, okay, yeah, sweet. So anyway, yeah, that happens a lot. That happened to Will Smith once. I don't remember what movie, but my man was paid like $60 million to be in a movie that never got made, and he did not have to pay it back.
Nice.
So anyway,
So we gotta get into reviews.
Yeah.
that's all the news for today. Dun-dun.
And, unfortunately, this is gonna be a bit of a blaze through reviews.
Not any more than we normally do, because I don't have a whole lot to say.
Blaze through reviews.
I don't have a lot to say other than these are all good movies, I
All
guess.
great
fair.
movies.
Well, let's talk about Crazy Rich or Rich and Crazy or Asian Rich Crazy people.
Crazy
first.
Rich Asians.
I've not seen it. Katie May saw it.
I haven't either, but I'll go through the cast and writing credits.
Oh, you're so cool.
It was directed by John M. Chu. Was written by. It was based on the book by Kevin Kwan, and
Kevin
the
Kwan.
screenplay was by Adele Lim and Peter Shirelli, which is,
Great.
I mean, he was the GM for the Boston Bruins for a while. I'm sure it's a different Peter Shirelli.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You were supposed to laugh at that, just so you know. And
Haha!
I'm just gonna. I don't. You know what? You know. You do the cast because I don't know who was important because I didn't see it.
What?
Just
Oh.
I don't know. Like I don't want to read.
How about she just brings it up when it needs to happen?
So, well, I got to see it before it was released because AMC did a special screening
Oh, you're so
a week
fucking cool.
before. And Sarah, shout out to Sarah, always knows like these free screenings and
Shout
like
out to
advanced
Sarah.
screenings. Like she's always on top of it. But Crazy Rich Asians, if you just want a good love story with like no conflicts and crazy costumes
And rich Asians.
and just like ridiculous sets, then this is the movie for you.
You're welcome.
It made me want to leave the theater and get engaged and married because it's just such a happy movie.
Look on Wyatt's face.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
It's just a happy-go-lucky movie, and it's pretty short. It has great Katimae pacing.
Good stuff.
It's good stuff. I wouldn't. What was her name?
Constance Wu.
Yeah, she's also in Fresh Off the Boat.
Okay.
It's like not even the same person.
Yeah.
The way that she acts, like it's crazy.
Cool.
So.
Rich Asian. Fucking gotcha.
Oh man.
Crazy.
So I would see it. I would see it again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it sometime this week.
It's just a fun movie.
Yep.
That's it. It's just a fun
Good, and I feel like we needed that too.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of the people are like, I wish it was a better script considering the representation. I'm like, but like white people can make movies like Skyscraper and The Meg, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So anybody should be able to make
I
just a
didn't mind the
cheesy,
script.
popcorn movie.
It was fun, and I really liked all the costumes that they chose.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, are we talking? Our next up is
What?
what?
I did talking to, but next up is new segment called Next Up.
All right, next is The Meg,
The
directed
Meg?
by John
Turteltaub.
Turteltaub.
the director of the National Treasure movies.
And Batman and Robin.
Woohoo!
John Turturro. He did not make Batman and Robin.
Yes, he did.
Joel Schumacher made those movies.
Produced.
Anyway, so the Meg
Tyler's about to look up and realize he's wrong about a thing.
is great.
So I like the Meg.
I wish there was more death in it.
Yeah, I wish that we got to see the rated R version of this movie because there was one sequence where these people were on a dock and it's getting pulled by the Megalodon, and someone gets like, it looks like they get lodged between the docks, and I just so badly wanted to see their head get popped off like a freaking roll of toothpaste. Just
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's in the trailer, that beach scene, and I wish like it was just like
So,
chomp, chomp, chomp.
Yeah,
chomp,
man,
chomp.
I just wanted the rated R version of this movie, so you get a little blue balled on it, but then you remember like, oh, this is meant to be a big old blockbuster. But man, it was fun. I don't know, like you don't take it too seriously because it doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah.
Jason Statham is being as brick house-ish as ever. He's amazing.
That's my celebrity crush right
Yeah,
now.
he's the shit. All right, so here's what the movie's about. It's about Jason Statham is this amazing rescue diver, except he doesn't really have to dive all that much to rescue anybody. It's more just about like, I can dock this ship better than most people. But anyway.
Well, and he can like go faster with like the pressure.
Yeah, he's just very experienced and he knows what he's doing.
And he's got some moves.
Just some moves, but
Stab, stab, stab.
basically, apparently in the world of this movie, belief. You believe. No, beneath Mariana's Trench, there's actually not the ocean floor. You have this like cloud of very coldness, and a lot of they believed, and then we're doing research, and the guy who owned all of this stuff, like the research base and whatnot, Rainn Wilson, Dwight K. Schrute,
Moving up from them beet farms.
being very social networky in his very new age billionaire style of acting. It was fine. I didn't hate it.
Did you notice all the shoe shots that we got in this
Yeah, there were
movie?
so many shots of shoes.
Like, look at these shoes.
The
Look at
product
these
placement
shoes.
in this was a little
Look
gratuitous.
at these shoes.
I would also like to personally apologize. James lied to me on the way home from the movie last night and said that it was directed by Batman, or it was the guy who directed it did Batman and Robin and Batman Forever. And if you know James, he's a human encyclopedia for movie stuff. So I just blindly trusted him.
I want you to tell James that.
Now I'm embarrassed on my movie podcast.
It's okay. I tried to cover up for it. You tried to fact check me, and I schooled you. It's alright.
Well, I wanted to know because I was worried that if I was wrong, but
You were.
I am. I was very wrong. And
Alright.
again, I apologize. But yeah, I agree with everything that they've said up to this point because I have been listening.
Well, I was still describing the plot. So, they go beneath the trench, and believe it or not, oh my god, a whole new host of aquatic life that needs discovering. I'll tell you what, you're about to make a lot of money. And then, Megalodon comes in, and everyone's like, rah, and then because they come up really quickly through that cloud, it makes a little tiny escape route, a highway for Megalodons. And they come out and wreak havoc, and you get some pretty good Jaws action.
Yeah, there was at least 2 got out.
Yeah, at least 2 got out, and I tell you what, when they get out, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think
I'll tell you what.
I tell you what.
some of the suspense stuff was pretty suspenseful,
Yep.
but not too much.
Open Ocean messes with Tyler all the time.
It was very PG-13y.
Made Katie May laugh a lot because I was really uncomfortable.
Some of the situations, like, you just laugh out loud because they're so ridiculous.
Yep.
Like, there's this cable that is supposed to be attached to Jason Statham, then it somehow gets hooked to the Megalodon, and he needs to get back onto the boat, so he grabs the cable, and you expect me to believe that my man, barehanded, is grabbing that fucking cable, even though his hands aren't probably slipping down it or anything, but he can hold on to it while the boat is going as fast as it can.
In the water.
In
That's
the water, yeah.
That's the kind of movie I'm talking about. And Jason Statham kills the Megalodon.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, come on, we know it's going to happen. By sticking a knife in the side of it, riding it up into the air. When he's in the air, shoving a giant harpoon thingy through his fucking eye. So
after he cut open its side with a very jagged piece of
the ship,
destroyed pod racer he was piloting underwater.
So if you were expecting Jaws, this is not.
No.
But
is
there are callbacks to Jaws.
very
in the
blatant.
movie.
Yeah,
Yep.
callbacks to Jaws.
So watch it and let us know if you've caught them.
So here's one thing I will say, if I have to give a criticism about the movie, because I do, because this is a bunch of movie critics here. Because it's a Megalodon and the sheer size of it, I can't imagine how you would do any practical effects. So I'm trying not to be too hard about this.
Yeah.
But like the CGI for me was real distracting.
It'd be really funny though.
I think I'm so sorry.
You could have
so sorry.
You could have at least made
Like the head.
a fin, and made it a real fin.
But
and
it would
not,
have been really funny if they were like, guys, let's just make it for real.
Let's make a
And they
megalodon.
spent like $1 million on a fucking giant
and then it's just,
animatronic
like,
megalodon.
Jaws all over again, and
Yeah,
it never
worse.
works. And they're like, this.
Well, I know that it's so much easier for your cast and crew to not have to deal with the gigantic fucking megalodon. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just that was the
would've
only
been
part of it
so funny.
that was
I
distracting.
will
for me.
say, for at least a significant portion of the movie, they do a good job of obscuring your view of it.
Oh yeah,
And like
they
there
don't
were,
show it a lot.
Yeah, and there
which
were a
is
couple-
why
yeah.
it was still fun for me because as soon as I saw the CGI shark head, I was like, okay, I'm out.
like there were a couple shots that were genuinely like at least for me, because again, open ocean fucks me up.
Mm-hmm.
But like the shot where the little girl is playing and you see
Oh,
it just
yeah.
slowly creep up behind her.
Yeah.
That was creepy.
Yeah.
Some of the shots where it turned around and you realized who it was about to charge, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
like maybe not that visual, but the idea of it is
Yeah.
what messes with you. I also love the fake out where they kill the first megalodon and like we
Yeah.
got it, and then you're like, oh no, it's not the real megalodon, and then one that's like 3 times as
Oh,
big jumps out of the
my
water.
God.
And then
Yeah.
Ray Wilson kills a whale because they think it's a megalodon.
Yeah.
And the megalodon eats the whale and Ray.
Yeah, like it comes
Spoiler
up.
alert.
It comes up and you think it's just gonna take a just chomp right on Rainn Wilson, and it does, and it chomps into the whale, and then pulls away, and you're like, oh no, it got Rainn Wilson, and then it pulls away, and you're like, oh no, he survived, never mind.
And
And then
it's like-
literally 6 seconds later, it just chomps
Never
him
mind.
anyway. Chomps him anyway.
Nah, here's the thing. I will see it again. That's my hot take. I would see it again in theaters though. Like when I get home or when it comes out on home media, I probably won't watch it.
Yeah.
Because seeing it on IMAX was the fun part of
Oh
it.
yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Also,
Get the
got
A-list. It's worth
Ruby
it.
Rose playing Ruby Rose.
Yes. So let's talk. Oh, that's news that we just skipped over.
All right,
completely.
right.
All right, we're gonna take a 4-second sidebar into Ruby Rose
'Cause it's relevant.
One, she's in the movie. 2, she's been cast as Batwoman. Woo! There you go.
One of us is excited, 2 of us are indifferent.
Here's what I'll say. Ruby Rose, if you were to take a plastic mold of Ruby Rose's face and put it on a block of wood, I guarantee you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I guarantee you, I bet you, you would not know.
Can you tell which 2 are excited?
Look, man, yes, she's hot. I get it. She's
No,
like,
not at all.
Look, what? She's super hot, but
She is really hot.
I think
all
that's
right,
where.
so
I think
what I
that's
meant
where,
was that's not why I'm
I
excited.
think that's where her badassery ends for me.
I'm not excited. I don't like her.
She's hot, but like
she
she's
comes into a movie and she's like, oh, Ruby Rose.
she has
and then
no
that's
more
it.
acting ability or range than.
She's
then,
the
I
same
don't
thing
know.
in everything she shows up in. Same
Mhm.
hairstyle, same, like, oh, I'm so itchy. Look at my tattoos and my wet looking hair.
Yeah, and I know that a lot
And
of
there we
will say,
go.
yeah, I
There's
was
Ruby
like-
Rose.
I was never sure whether or not her hair was wet or just she hasn't washed it in a long time.
a lot of actors come into movies like action movies and just straight up play themselves. But I'm gonna give here's. Everyone knows the John Wick movies are fucking dope, right? Like they're great.
Mhm.
The filmmakers behind them are really good filmmakers that take care of into everything that they do.
Yeah.
When their producers were like, "Hey, we got you Ruby Rose because she's real hot right now. She's in the movie. What do you think about that?" They were like, what are we gonna do about that?" And they made her a mute. Think about that.
All right, I concede.
They made her a mute
I
so that
concede.
she would be believable in their movie.
I concede.
Come on now.
Good job. I concede. I'm glad they cast someone who is actually like, she's bi, right? She's not like.
What? I don't know.
I don't know her personal life.
Well, Batwoman is
Are you assuming because of her haircut?
Batwoman is a lesbian comic book character, and it's one of the first. She's one of the first like major comic book characters being given a thing that is all about them,
Use the
and
World
she's
Wide Web. to
and
find
she's
out.
being played by a queer actor, and I think that
you're
is
not saying all this under
That's
some
why-
fantastic. No.
That's why you're
She's-
excited about Ruby Rose?
Yeah, as they could have cast someone who is just not gay.
But they also could have cast someone who would have had more
Fair,
range.
but I feel like Batwoman doesn't need a lot of range.
Bro, 39 minutes ago, Ruby Rose deleted her Twitter because people are firing at her for being Batwoman.
Oh, jeez.
Look. Hold on.
Okay.
I feel like this is a good time for me to say, I don't think she would be horrible. I'm just
No.
not excited.
Yeah, but also, just because we're saying these things doesn't mean, like, attack her. That's just not nice.
Ruby
That's...
Rose's Batwoman would be the first openly gay superhero.
Yep. And she's being played by an openly queer actress.
There you go.
That's why. I will concede that she's maybe not the best as far as acting talent.
She's like great for just being Ruby Rose. Like, if
but
you
that's
have
the thing,
a role for her.
Batwoman
Batwoman
is traditionally like, she's very brooding, and what I was excited about was like, that's the character. She's very much like a female Batman.
If Batwoman is just like Ruby Rose, then that's perfect casting.
A little bit.
If that's how it is, then that's great.
And more like the mute Ruby Rose from John Wick, in that she's just brooding, and you believe she could tear anybody apart.
Yeah.
I believe that. Yeah, no, she looks tough as nails.
But if
you
they
know?
try to make her like be funny or like anything like that, I don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah, like in the Meg, they were trying to make her like charming and cool, and I just wasn't buying 1 second of it.
No.
I was buying like her little crying scene on the boat. I'm sorry, Ruby Rose. You're. I don't know, man.
The doctor was my friend.
You didn't sell me on that at all. Sorry.
No.
But anyway, we're being too mean to Ruby Rose.
Last one, because we gotta go see 8th grade.
Dang, we're gonna talk about BlacKkKlansman, everyone.
It was good.
End of story. No. We'll probably talk about BlacKkKlansman all effing day. So, this is directed by Spike Lee, and it is starring, go ahead and say it, Katimae, because you're the one who loved him so much.
For John David Washington, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Son of Denzel Washington.
Oh my god. I
And
want him to be in everything now. I hope this movie blows him up and we see him in like 8 movies next year.
Yeah,
because
so he used to
love him now.
Yeah, he used to be a football player, and in his interviews, very explicit about like it wasn't going super well. So he was in the NFL, but he was a certified bench warmer, and then he ended up playing in Hamburg, and it just wasn't going the way he thought it would, and he decided to take a turn into acting, and holy fuck did he nail it.
Oh my goodness.
He's hilarious. He's very emotional in parts. You believe every word he's saying, and if you watch his interviews, he has his dad's mannerisms completely, but you don't get a lick of that in this movie.
No.
He's totally playing a character.
Every time he's on screen, you're just like captivated because you're like,
he's interesting.
I want to see it again just for him.
He brings a lot of emotional weight to the movie.
Yeah.
His afro is awesome.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a great afro. So this is directed by Spike Lee, the perfect person to make this movie.
Yep.
So the movie takes this is the movie. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Tyler? All right.
Sorry.
So this is the story. It is about
Ron Stallworth.
Yeah, Ron Stallworth. And this is, by the way, based on a completely true story, based on the book written by the real Ron Stallworth. And when you learn that information going into the movie, you're like, oh, so this is going to be like a bio movie. No, dude, I would totally think that this movie is 1,000% fake if I didn't know that. That's how fantastical the shit is that happens in this movie.
Yeah.
So Ron Stallworth joins the police department, and he's in the file section, and he's, not feeling it. He's not jiving with him. So he asks to get moved to be part of the undercover section, and eventually the chief is like, that's fine, whatever, we'll do it, who cares? So it goes to the undercover section, and they want him to go investigate this speech, because this guy used to be a part of the Black Panther movement. They think he might be a radical. They want to go see, and he has to partner with 2 white detectives, undercover detectives, one of them being Adam Driver, who is excellent in this movie. This is the first movie where I think Adam Driver, if you've seen him in interviews and whatnot, is just acting like Adam Driver, but still charming and amazing as ever. Mm-hmm. And the way that his delivery on everything, I don't know what it is. I don't know what they teach you at Juilliard, but dude, I want to hear, I just want to watch him live his fucking life, his day. He's just interesting to watch. He just, I don't know, he pulls you in somehow. I don't know what it is about this dude. In fact, I think Kylo Ren might be my least favorite Adam Driver role.
A lot of people feel that. Yeah.
And I love Kylo Ren. That's the thing. Like, if that's the bottom of the barrel for him, that's a great barrel to be in, right?
Seriously.
But anyway, they go undercover. They want to see if it's a radical, and everyone kind of deduces like, this guy's kind of a non-threat. He just kind of tucks out his ass, which is true. That guy ends up doing nothing for the rest of the movie. But Ron Stallworth is like, I think there's more to this whole race war thing going on, and if you haven't picked up on already, there's a real big reason why this movie was made now and not like 5 years ago, right? So, and again, this movie leans into that pretty hard at points in the movie. So, Ron Stallworth sees an ad in the newspaper, just a phone number. Hey, Ku Klux Klan, would you like to join? And he calls the number, and his voice, and this is part of where I say his acting is phenomenal here. is he purposefully changes his voice, or not it's John David, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, changes his voice throughout the whole movie, not just for this phone call, to seem more whitish. They even make comments in the movies like you talk kind of like a white guy. I won't say the sorry to bother you kind of way, but not actually being voiced with someone else. He just does a great job of through the whole movie. He just sounds that way.
Yeah.
And when he calls, they believe him. They go, "Oh, yeah," and he's saying some real ridiculous stuff. But anyway, he gets a meeting with the Ku Klux Klan to join in and become inducted, and the whole police department is like, one, that's hilarious. Two, don't go there, and because you're kind of super black. So the rest of the movie, Adam Driver plays the in-person version of Ron Stallworth, and whenever he talks on the phone, it is John David Washington. And it's hilarious, and it's hilarious watching the investigation, but it gets really serious, very dark as it goes on, as it gets further and further. And one of the best parts is that Topher Grace plays the Grand Wizard, and it's fucking hysterical. I won't get into too many of the details because it'll start to ruin the movie. That's more just the setup. But at watching Adam Driver, who actually one of the secretly great parts about this is that he has a little moment where he is Jewish. Like his character that he plays is Jewish, and while the KKK hates black people, they also really don't like the Jewish people. And he's Jewish, but didn't really put much thought into it. Like his whole life, he didn't really have to deal with the anti-Semitism. Mm-hmm. And then when he's there and he's hearing, he's like, I never really felt marginalized before. Mm-hmm. And that's when he starts to take the investigation seriously. Yeah. And now all of a sudden he's invested, almost as invested as Ron Stallworth is. Mm-hmm. And man, does it come to a really, really great ending. It's just an exceptional story. It has some slow bits where it gets super preachy. But the thing is, when movies like that happen and you notice it, a lot of the time you notice it because it's like, come on, man, I was into it, and then you took me out. It fits here. Like that speech that we told you about that everybody was waiting to get into, you watch the whole speech. It's not like little clips or little bits, or he walks in the end of the speech. From beginning to end, you get the whole goddamn 10-minute speech, and it's not bad. Like you don't. Usually when movies make that much of a detour, it pulls you out, but not here. And that happens 2 or 3 times in the movie. So if pacing is your thing, maybe not this movie, but
I loved it.
Yeah, but it didn't deter Katimae at all. Mm-hmm. And then at the very end of the movie, like when the movie's over, it punches you real hard in the face with politics, but again, not in the bad way. Like we walk out of there, I was like, yeah, I definitely feel like I got a right hook to my cheek with Trump, but in the right ways. Like the movie got you to that boiling point. Mm-hmm. And then did something
about it
very interesting and very. This is the most tastefully this thing could have ever been done. Yeah. And I thank Spike Lee for making it. I'm not probably the right person to talk about it because I'm a pasty peckerwood, but it's great
movie.
And it's just as much about what's going on right now with the race war in that respect, but I don't think it is an important story to tell, but not just because of that, but because of what's going on at the border right now. Yep. But even with KKK literally having a new uprising right now, a lot of Jewish people are feeling marginalized now too, and that's part of this movie. It's the right movie at the right time. Mm-hmm. If this movie came out 5 years ago, it would have been hailed as a good movie, but would not have packed as much as a political or emotional punch as it is right now. It's great. Everyone should see this movie.
Peele produced this, right?
Yeah, he was one of the producers.
Yeah,
he didn't direct it. But.
Jordan Peele. This is the kind of one of the, like a lot of people were excited to see what he would do after Get Out.
Yeah, I don't think that he probably wasn't like the big mind behind this movie.
Oh, absolutely not. But still,
he is the right person to have involved with it. No questions about it. Mm-hmm. Because this kind of thing, he might even be considered like one of the best new upcoming filmmakers on this topic. Yep. He's even said in interviews he has more to say. I don't think this is what he meant. Whatever he's going to do next is probably just as engaging. Mm-hmm. Hot take, Katimae?
Go see it.
Yeah, I love your reviews.
Yeah, I can't wait to go see it.
I would see it again. And now with AMC, I can.
You can go see it in IMAX.
Who's IMAX?
I don't know.
Baymax?
Oh. Do you want to wrap it up?
Yes. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. Those are all of our hot takes on a lot of different things. My name is Wyatt. It has been Wyatt, and it still is Wyatt.
My name's Katimae.
It is Katimae. It always has been Katimae, and it will continue to be Katimae until she decides to change it. And
Tyler Stoudt.
Johnny Foreskin.
Johnny Foreskin in the corner, everyone. Johnny Corner Foreskin. All right, everybody. We are on Patreon, S Vertical P, Twitter,
S Vertical P.
Facebook,
S Vertical P.
Instagram.
S Vertical P.
Do all those things. If you donate to us on Patreon, we get to eat. So
and
we
also
appreciate that.
maybe the most important one is YouTube.
YouTube.
S Vertical P.
Episode most likely Wednesday evening of The Inventor coming out for you. Boom. Episode of Visual Cooking coming out Friday for you. Boom.
Oh wow, that's 2 in a week.
Boom.
Oh my God.
Special episode.
Special
of Visual
episode.
Cooking.
And
I'm only kind of excited about it.
I'm super
Also, watch out for Patreon because we are having special content.
Patreon event for you, donators.
Yeah, man.
Also, a new thing's coming out this week that I'm making
Yeah, I'm
all by myself.
I'm really excited for you guys to experience that. I don't know if Wyatt is.
What? Yeah, I wouldn't make it if I wasn't excited about it.
But yeah, so donate some money to Patreon and you'll see the special content.
You can literally that's $1
If you don't-
of your money
Yeah.
every month, and you get to see that stuff.
Also, if you don't subscribe on YouTube, there is someone assigned to kill me.
Yeah.
There you go.
Um,
Save my life.
Can I have your stuff?
we have to hit a quota of subscribers by the end. Oh, I guess we didn't make it. That's sad.
I got a new computer.
Nice.